Most contractors never break $1 million, and it's not because they're bad at the work, because they chose the wrong growth lever. The ones that do all have one thing in common. They dominate Google using the same boring local SEO techniques. In this series, I'm breaking down how real contractor businesses are using local SEO to build million and billion-dollar businesses. If you have a client that does restoration, I'm talking fire, water, mold remediation, all that fun stuff, then you're going to want to pay attention to this one. In this video, we're going to be looking at Servpro. Servpro, I'm checking my notes here, $2.8 billion per year. And the main reason why we want to check them out is because when we look in Portland and we look in Salem and we look in Bend, they're always at the top of Google. How are they doing it? What can we learn from them? And how can we help your restoration client show up higher on Google? Hey, my name's Sam. In case we haven't met before, I run Local SEO Academy, where I teach web designers how to add local SEO to their business, get results for their clients, and build a business and not a job. So if you're interested in that, check out the first link in the description. We'll have a good deal for you. But let's move on with the video and talk about Servpro and how they're serving their competition. Now, if you're new to this series, we've been breaking down million and billion dollar contractor businesses because we love doing contractor SEO here. Check out one of the links in the description, and we'll have a link to the playlist where we talk about other businesses, roofing, things like that. And so check those out. But today we're going to be talking about Servpro, restoration. And if you've watched any of the videos in this series before, you've seen a similar thing where we look at the location pages and they all kind of look the same, right? If we scroll all the way down, we see that there's very little that's changed except for the people that seem to be the owners of this franchise. Here we are in the next one. Hey, what's up, Mercy? And then we go to the last one, and yeah, they have a flag running the one in Bend. That's good to know. So yeah, so that's the main difference. If you look at the actual words, there's a couple spots where they swap out Bend. They also have like service areas here, like these. So this actually does lead to a specific Woodburn page here. However, this seems to be one of the hubs for this location right here. Now, one thing I found very interesting is that, when you look at Portland, which is a metro area, which is important because a lot of metro area SEO, that can be a lot harder than when you're trying to rank in a more like a suburb, for instance. They have this page here that is sort of high level, and then they actually have like specific Servpro locations in each corner, and they have their own page. So right now the link you can't see, but it's /location/OR/Portland-restoration. On this page, it now says /Servpro of Northwest Portland. Let me zoom in so you guys can see that. There it is. Servpro of. Yeah, that's what it looks like. There we go. Boom. All right, my face is in the way still, but you guys get the idea. Now, your client probably only has one location, right? One GBP. They probably have a service area that they serve. You want to build location pages for them. So you're going to want to follow a similar structure, something like this, but it doesn't need to be this complicated. You don't need to have /location/state/ all this stuff, right? You can keep it really simple. There's a lot of different ways to do this. For a business like restoration, where there's an umbrella term, I love to target restoration on the homepage. All right. Below that, where you have each service, right? You have like fire damage. That can be its own service page. And I would target the main area on that service page. And then below that, when you go to the next location page, boom, you just duplicate that. And that's where you swap out and you're doing basically what they're doing. Now, like I love to say in these videos, Servpro has an unfair advantage because they're a franchise with thousands and thousands of locations. They have authority. Okay. Their authority score is through the freaking roof. Your client probably is not going to have that much authority. If I look up something like water damage restoration, Portland, Oregon, and I look at the results, first of all, great search volume. Who shows up number one? Freaking Servpro. I'm sure they do a great job, but we work with the little guys. And if you see their authority score, again, through the roof, 56. By the way, we're using SEMrush right now. You don't normally get this column unless you're on the paid version of SEMrush. We have a free trial of SEMrush. If you want to try this out for a week, see all these cool features, it's going to be in the description. I guess that's an affiliate link, so I need to disclose that. But anyway, after that, we get to the actual competitors, okay? So pay attention to this column. This is the authority score. Now, remember, SEMrush is just guessing. It doesn't really know the number. So we have Servpro here. We have Yelp here, so we can ignore that. That's a placeholder, right? Google has places in the results for stuff like Yelp, Angie, Home Advisor, House, right? So we see those things as we go through the SERPs. Then we get to actual local businesses. 19, 17, right? And then if we zoom out and we see the 29 is actually somebody that is a multi-location business. The 78 is Better Business Bureau. 21 is a local business. The next one is another multi-location business, kind of like Servpro, and then another Servpro type business. So we actually only have 3 slots for small businesses, and their authority is high, 19, 17, and 21. Now, this is Portland. This is a metro area. So let's try a slightly smaller town. Let's go to like Bend. That's where I live. And so 20 search volume, not that high. We've got to update the metrics here. And you might say, Sam, why would we target a keyword with only 20 search volume? Well, we need to stack up these keywords. There's probably other phrases that people use besides water damage restoration, Bend, Oregon. We want to also target those keywords. So if you look, we have Yelp, number 1, Summit, cleaning and restoration, which is like a local business just with a couple locations in different parts. Dry Time, 17. Then here's Servpro, right, with their 56, big guys. And then you get a couple little guys. We got like Breathe Deeper, Peak Northwest Restore. Then it goes to Better Business Bureau, a Facebook profile, which is always funny when that stuff happens, which is funny. This is actually a big company. You think that they would show up here, but they don't. And then Rainbow Restores, which is a multi-location business. And so they have 38, right? They're a lot like Servpro. Oh, sorry, my face is in the way. 38. There they are. And so the 2 small businesses are down here. We have, I guess we should give Summit their credit. They're pretty much a small business. So that we have 23, 17, 10, and 9. All right. When you're actually getting down on these numbers, these are the numbers you usually see from prospects when you're talking to them on sales calls. If they've been around for a couple of years, maybe they've worked with an SEO company that, maybe offered like tier packages, and we're writing a bunch of crappy ChatGPT blogs that, it helped them a little, but it really didn't give them results, right? This is the kind of stuff we see from prospects. Gosh, my face is still in the way, but anyway, just trust me. It was 10 and 9, okay? 10 and 9 for these guys. This is a perfect place for us to come in and help these clients because there's really not that many spots that they have to compete with. Not every space in the search engine result page is created equally. And if you're thinking to yourself, Sam, does Google really king? Like, do I need to worry about AI search? Well, I have a lot of thoughts on AI SEO, and I've talked about it here, and I've talked about it in a lot of other videos. But the thing I want you to take away is that AI SEO makes up a tiny, tiny sliver of search right now, like in general. The rest of it is still Google. And so yes, Google matters. And by the way, most of those AI searches are just scraping Google right now. So if you show up higher in the local search results in Google, you'll show up higher in those tools as well. So, for instance, if one of these people reached out to me, Breathe Deeper or Peak Northwest Restore, I would love to have a conversation with them because I feel like they have a massive opportunity to go from 5th or 6th to potentially even the top. And the thing is, you don't need to rank first, right? Because look, that first slot is Yelp. The next slot is Summit, and maybe they're too busy because they're one of the bigger guys. That's, a small, big guy, right? And then you got another smaller one. It's like maybe you could show up 3rd and you would just be 1 spot below your biggest competitor in the area. You could even be ahead of Servpro. So how do we do it? As I say many times in these videos, it is so important to get the SEO hotspots right. If we zoom in here and we look at the SEO title, we see that they're saying Portland and they are saying restoration and cleaning services, right? The meta description is optimized to help people click through. It's a little long. This would get truncated. And if you look, the URL is good. It's targeting specifically downtown Portland. Same thing in Central Oregon, restoration, cleaning, Bend. Tell Google what you do and where you do it. That's it. The meta description, I would love for this to be a little bit shorter and end with a direct call to action to click and learn more. And again, they've been able to put the keyword in there. Now, it might be nice if you have multiple locations, multiple services, multiple locations, that you're finding ways to say the service name and the location name in the URL. This is really good for service area businesses, which most of our clients are. They're not going to have multiple GBPs. They're not going to have multiple physical locations like that Summit Restoration does. They're just going to have one location. Maybe it's their house and maybe it's hidden publicly, but they're going to be able to serve an area, especially if they're restoration clients. If you can hit the SEO hotspots for the core pages you really need for your website, which are the main service pages targeting the location that your GBP is in, and then location pages for those top locations that you need to hit, check the search volume, double check with something like SEMrush and Google Keyword Planner, because you might not need pages for some of those smaller towns as you get further down the list, but just follow the data. If you do that, you're going to be doing SEO better than 99% of the people out there, even if you're just getting started in SEO. By the way, if you're a restoration company, you made it this far in the video and you want to reach out, there's a link below where you can book a call with me directly. But I want to close this video to just remind everybody, the web designers that are out there, they're trying to help restoration companies show up higher. Look at these people and see what you can gain, but also know that they have unfair advantages. Their service pages are pretty thin. You can add featured projects. Restoration companies do amazing things. They help people come back from emergencies, natural disasters, and get back into their home. Feature those stories, especially when people are willing to. They've put them in reviews. Bottle those up and repurpose them on your website. Add specific FAQs. Add specific testimonials that are tied to this service in this city. These are great ways to help you show up in Google and also get recommended by the AI tools. If you're a web designer and you're looking to add local SEO to your business this year because you want to increase your monthly recurring revenue, that sweet, sweet, beautiful MRR, I'm here to help you. Head over to localseoacademy.co/best-deal. And our best deal is always going to be sitting there waiting for you. It's a little bit of money after the first month, so it's a little easier to jump in, start going through the courses, get yourself immersed in the community, attend some of our weekly Q&As, and see how you can be supported on this journey. It's not as hard as people make it out to be, especially when you have friends around you. There's over 100 people in Local SEO Academy. We want you to be next. But in the meantime, I got this video right here, which is going to help you decide what to do next. And so if you're not ready to jump in the academy, watch that video. I'll catch you in the next one.